Okay, this is test video 1, the trig practice question. The question we're looking at right now, question 5, states that given that sine of 23 degrees is equal to root k, determine in its simplest form the value of the following in terms of k without using a calculator. So the first thing we're going to do before we even try to convert the three terms is to take the information that we've been provided, which is that sine 23 equals root k, and turn it into a diagram. So the diagram will end up looking something like this, and the way that we find the values on this diagram is by using the definitions of the sine function and Pythagoras' theorem. The definition of sine is the opposite of over the hypotenuse. So we have our angle here, sine 23 is equal to the opposite, which is root k over 1. And of course, Pythagoras' theorem, we have root of the hypotenuse squared, 1 squared, less root k squared, which is just k. So you have root 1 minus k as the adjacent side. And we'll use this diagram to answer the questions. So here we have sine of 203 degrees. And we can convert that using reduction formula. So sine in the third quadrant is negative. If you convert to sine 23 by subtracting 180 degrees, you'll have negative sine 23, because of course sine in the first quadrant is positive, so you have to multiply it by negative 1. And we know that sine 23 equals root k, so this is just negative root k. The next question is cos of 23. Cos of 23, we can look at our diagram without needing to do any kind of reduction. Cos is defined as the adjacent over the hypotenuse. So we have our adjacent side here, root 1 minus k, and our hypotenuse is 1, and the adjacent over the hypotenuse then is just root 1 minus k. Lastly, we have the tan function. So tan of negative 23. Tan is an odd function, which means that tan of the negative variable is equal to negative tan of the variable. And we can look at our diagram again. We have the definition of tan is opposite over adjacent. We have our opposite side here, which is root k, and our adjacent side here, which is root 1 minus k. The opposite over the adjacent then is just root k over root 1 minus k. And that is all of the questions.